Hey, what is up YouTube? This is Mermail Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel once again with another video for you. And today is the long-awaited update to my Mermail deck profile, guys. You have asked for it, and I am bringing it here to you today. This deck is the reason why I've decided to call myself the Mermail Master, of course. I love this deck. Water is one of my favorite strategies to play. And I thought I'd bring you guys something very, very different than what is currently out there on the market right now. For those of you who may or may not know, the brand new card Sekka's Light was just released. And Sekka's Light is basically a card that is kind of like a Pot of Greed. It allows you to draw 2 cards if you have no spell and trap cards in your graveyard. And then for the rest of the turn that you activate this card, as well as the rest of the duel, you can no longer activate any spell or trap cards. And Sekka's Light also has another effect that allows itself to be banished from your graveyard to reveal a monster in your hand, and then shuffle that into the deck, and then draw 1 card. So this is a very, very useful card, and it's so useful that a lot of players are willing to cut spells and traps entirely just to play it. Very, very interesting card. And I've been sort of testing out with it right now and seeing how I feel. But with the Nightmares combined together and Summon Sorceress, this card is going to break Mermails into a new age. But since we do not have Summon Sorcerer, and since we have other stuff, I decided to throw together a different style of deck. In addition to that Light of Sekka, I am running 1 Soul Charge. I feel this 3-to-1 ratio is pretty nice because either you're going to draw Sekka's Light, which is going to be your draw 2 in the deck, or if you draw Soul Charge, which is an extremely, extremely good card, 1 out of 40 chance, of course, to draw this, then you can, do your classic Soul Charge plays, reborn back a whole bunch of things. Each one of these cards works to facilitate your combos, but these are the only spell and trap cards that I run in the entire deck. Just basically these 3, and I'll explain some more combos to you along the way. But if you guys have watched my Learning Mermails engines video, you'll understand where this stuff comes in. So the monster count is 36 monsters in here, and I'm going to go over pretty much everything and explain to you just sort of some of the combos and some of the plays that you've got. So, of course, starting out, guys, we have 3 copies of Neptibus the Atlantean Prince. This is one of the best cards in your entire deck and helps to facilitate a lot of OTKs. It's got that once per turn, send an Atlantean, add an Atlantean, and then you can send Dragoons to grab another copy of Dragoons, and then Dragoon's effect will trigger to add you Megalo Diva, whatever you're missing. This can activate even if it's special summoned. You used to be able to grab this with 1-for-1, but we do not run that anymore, thanks to just basically slimming down the trap lineup, the spell and trap lineup a lot, thanks to Sekka's Light. Very, very good card. One thing that I will mention is when you look through this deck, the thing that changes this deck up from all the rest of the deck profiles on YouTube is that this one is not running a single hand trap. That is right, guys. This is hand trap-less Sekka's Light Mermails. And of course, it's not going to be as powerful or as disruptive as the hand trap filled versions. However, it is more consistent in several respects, and the engines do work together quite well. And the fact that they're all water also helps out a great deal. So that's the 3 prints. Also, another added fact is you can discard these, or if they're discarded for a water monster's effect, then you can activate the effect and special summon any Atlantean monster in your graveyard. So that's Prince. Next, we've got 3 Mermail Abyss Megalo. This is your main playmaker. Takes 2 waters to discard. Usually you can search something to your hand, but we don't have any of those cards in there. But basically, this is good for triggering multiple Mermail or Atlantean effects, and then also for being able to be a double attacker when you tribute a attack position water monster on the field. Next is Mermail Abyss Teus. Goes in for several of your link combos. It's just a very easy to summon level 7 monster. just basically discard 1 water from the grave, and then you can search a level 4 or lower mermail to your hand. So you can grab Gund or Pike or whatever you need at that various moment. And he also helps you make Galaxy Tomahawk, which allows you to further diversify your link plays. Next, we've got 2 Dragoons, pretty self-explanatory. Would love, love, love to see this at 3. One of my favorite cards. Very, very useful in a lot of different scenarios. And just as I mentioned, not once per turn. Just when it's sent to the graveyard, add a Sea Serpent from your deck to your hand. Not just Mermails, not just Atlanteans, Sea Serpents. Everything, the whole type. Now we have, for the other ones, we have 2 heavy infantry and 1 marksman. I'm thinking about taking out the marksman for a 3rd heavy infantry. Marksman's usefulness has definitely died down as the game has started to speed up and players are starting to build more varied and independent boards. So I do have a 3rd copy of heavy infantry that I'd like to test in here. But right now, this ratio has been working pretty well, and marksman does put in a good amount of work against rogue decks. So that's those 3. Next, of course, guys, we've got that 1 Diva. Diva is pretty self-explanatory, grabs the things out of your deck, link fodder, synchro fodder, you know, XYZ fodder even for level 2 if you still have those in your extra deck. Very, very, very good card. You combine this together with like Skull Dread or like, you know, other things. You can combine it together with the Troy Mares to get lots and lots of extra normal summons. Now for other Mermails, we have 1 Pike and 1 Gun. Pretty self-explanatory. Pike searches Gun, Gun specials Pike. You know, Gun special summons other things, and can also be discarded if it's discarded at all, even if not by a Mermail effect or anything like that. You can still special summon. So now we're going to start getting into some of the engines, and I'm going to start out first by showing this. 1 copy of Moon Glacier ditches the cards from your hand to the graveyard and just helps out in that respect. So now, moving on to our engines, guys, we're going to start things out here with 2 copies of Fishborg Launcher. When you control just water monsters, you can special summon this thing from the graveyard. Like you have to have just water monsters in your graveyard, and then basically it allows you to just use it for the synchro summon of a water monster, but it's not restricted based on links. And even though you can only use its effect once per turn, it is still a very, very good card in here to have at 2. Discard for various effects or special summon something that'll help win you the game. Now for the next self-explanatory engine here we got, guys, we have 3 Swap Frog and 1 Ronin Totem for your Toad and Frog engine. Again, helping to facilitate even more of those plays. Gives you link fodder, gives you access to Totally Awesome, which just helps you out immensely in this deck. So that's that engine. And now we're also running, guys, a small Nimble engine. That Nimble engine consists of 1 Nimble Beaver, 1 Nimble Sunfish, and 3 Nimble Angler to search them out. Nimble Angler, of course, is your most important playmaker in this entire deck, allowing you to just basically, when it's sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, you can special summon any 2 Nimble monsters from your deck, except, of course, for itself. So if you ditch Nimble Angler or you find some way to ditch it, you can grab Sunfish and Beaver. Sunfish also has the extra added ability to special summon itself, and then Beaver, if it's normal summon, can special summon another Nimble monster from any one of these other Nimble monsters from your hand or deck. So very, very good at just getting a lot of extra bodies on board. Now I was so now for the next engine, I was waiting to get some of the stuff in for these. But we have 3 copies of Genex Undyne and 1 copy of Genex Controller. I finally got my 3rd DT Undyne in, guys. I had a coupon for it, so I just figured I'd splurge on the purchase. Very, very strong engine right now. And I'm trying to see whether or not I'd like to combine them together with like Rosenix and O-Lion in this deck, because this will be a way that you can get out 1 card for a Skull Dread or for just any other card. The basic combo is, when Needle Fiber, of course, comes out, is going to be, you know, to summon Undyne. Undyne's going to ditch Rosenix. Rosenix special summons a token. Use the token for Link Spider. And then Link Spider's effect summons the controller you search. and then go into Needle Fiber, special like a glow up bulb or something from your deck. Link that away into like Link Karibo or something, and then glow up bulb will special summon itself back by its own effect, and you link all 4 away for Saryuja Skull Dread. And you can basically get that from just one Undyne. That's just like one example of a type of combo that you could do if you wanted within Mermails. But Undyne is useful for a variety of different things and is a huge, huge playmaker coming into the new style of Mermails. So you absolutely have to have this at 3. And then one other fact that I'm going to mention, controller, sort of like the Garnet status here, works great with Sekka's Light's shuffle back effect, because Sekka's Light will allow you to, if you search the controller, you don't have to deal with it. You can just banish Sekka's Light from your graveyard, shuffle Genex controller back into your deck, and then draw one, which helps you, of course, thin out your deck by removing, the Genex controller, which is technically a free card in your hand, for another free card. And then that allows you to use Genex Undyne's effect more than once per turn, rather than, using some unknown methods such as like the effect of Allure of Darkness or something to remove dead controllers in your hand. So controller's never really dead, just get it back into your deck and Undyne can search it out again. Now guys, the last 3 cards we have in the deck right now, and of course all of this is subject to change, but that is going to be 3 of the Gameciel, the Sea Turtle Kaiju. Just very good for getting rid of your opponent's stuff and helps to easily facilitate those OTKs. Before this, I was actually testing out a Gameciel and Kyoto Waterfront build, which focused on getting a boosted Gameciel up onto the field with 5 tokens, negate a whole bunch of your opponent's crap, and they can't even special summon a Kaiju or Kaiju your monster, because Gameciel as itself as a Kaiju occupies that position and makes sure that you only control that one Kaiju. So it's also very, very useful at being like an anti-Kaiju maneuver. So guys, that's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. Pretty much the same as usual. I'm not going to go too much into specifics on this, just because we are running out a little bit out of time. But here's just some of the things that I am running in the extra deck. So we're going to start things out first with XYZ monsters. We have 1 copy of Mermail Abyss Gaios, Galaxy Tomahawk, number 101, Castel, 2 Totally Awesomes, probably cut that down to 1. I think there's a couple more things. And then we have Bahamut Shark and Abyss Dweller to round that out. All very, very good cards. For Synchro Monsters is where it gets interesting. Trishula. We have the White Aura Whale, which you can easily make with any level 7, and the level 1 Fishborg Launcher Tuner in your deck. It's basically like a BLS, Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, and any monster that does piercing. So it destroys all attack position monsters and then can pierce twice over any monster like that your opponent controls in defense position. So that's really, really good. Next card that we have for Synchro Monsters is Bryanak. Very, very good card. Ditch things, trigger your waters. And then, of course, the 2 Coral Dragon and Tatsunoko to round out Synchro Monsters. And now for our links, which you guys did not see in the other Learning Mermails video. We have a pretty small link engine as of now, but I'm still trying to play around here with ratios, guys. So starting out, we've got these Miss Star Boys here. Really, really good card. Very beneficial, just good arrows and everything like that. Boost by 500 attack. And your opponent won't really control fire monsters, but if they do, that stuff goes down by 400. But he's really good, and he can fetch your water back from your graveyard to your hand if he is destroyed by battle or card effect, even if it's your own. So similar to Totally Awesome, he can grab you back your Dragoons and stuff like that. Other stuff will be released with links, but for starting out now, like he's a very good option. And then the next card we have, of course, is 1 copy of Decode Talker, and then finally 2 copies of Link Spider to round out all of our links in here. I would be running Firewall, Borreload, and Saryuja Skull Dread. However, I actually sold all my copies of those cards, believe it or not, guys. I got a offer that I could not refuse. So they're not in this extra deck. However, you should be running them and some of the main deck token spawners as well. With that being said, guys, this is going to bring us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching it. If you like the video, please remember to give a rate, comment, and possibly subscribe down on the channel below. And I will catch you guys next time. This has been the Mermail Master with the Team Time Riders YouTube channel, and I'm signing out. See you guys later. Peace.